So this is for self-published authors. Today we're going to be talking about e-newsletters and whether you should add them into your marketing strategy. Now there's going to be a lot of benefits of doing so, and I'll talk about that at the end. But I want to share first my hard-earned mistakes so you won't have to make the same mistakes and you can reap the benefits and actually integrate that into your strategy for the long term. To jump into actually setting up a newsletter, you can go as low tech as possible, which is just using a regular email and then send it out by email. Or you can try to look very professional and use a software program to help manage your marketing, automation, and email campaigns. Now, what I've done is I went high tech, but I'm actually going back to a little bit more low tech. So you can learn from my mistakes about trying to grow too quickly because it adds its own host of costs and complications. And then you need to decide, is that worth it to you? But if you dive in here, if you use a high-end automation system rather than just using Excel files, you get a lot of features here. For example, you can schedule emails, you can segment your various audiences, you can set A/B testing, which is trying different versions of the same email to see which one is opened more, which is very useful. And then you can create automations so you can send a series of emails so that you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. As a typical campaign email, you get a lot of different options here of what you can do. In this particular one, I sent it over to 865 recipients. Now, out of this, you notice not everyone opens the emails. They talk about a pure performance. So roughly they say in the arts and entertainment, they don't really define it as books, but roughly you're going to get a 43% open rate on your emails. So keep that in mind. If you have a 1,000-person subscriber list, only 430 roughly on average will open them. Now I was roughly average there. The click rate, now this is also very important because you have links within those emails. Everyone that gets your email is not going to click through on the links. And a lot of authors don't know that before they get into this. It's actually only a fraction of those that open it will click it. So when you do a call to action on an e-newsletter, in order to get, let's say, 800 people, you may need a list of 8,000. And that's something that authors don't know. Unsubscribes. Now notice here too, mine is quite high, 1.6 in this particular email. And that's higher than what I normally got, which is 1%. But you also notice the average of 0.4% is the industry average. I want to be very clear here. It's very critical you keep your unsubscribe rate low because when you get one or even several that click you on as spam, your emails can be flagged globally as potential spam and junk mail. So you may be sending out a ton of campaigns, but yours is going to end up in the junk mail box if they click you as junk mail. So you're going to have to be very, very careful when you create an email campaign. Give them lots of opportunities to unsubscribe. Make sure it's on the bottom of every email, and that's mandatory. But also check in with them and be okay if they unsubscribe. Because the last thing you want to do is have those uncommitted readers mark you as junk mail, and now your entire email automation is messed up, and then you're going to have to get a new email, and then you're going to have to reach out and explain it, and it's going to cause you a lot of issues downstream. So do A/B testing. You can split different emails, have different titles, different organization of the email itself. So then when people do click on it, which is roughly 40% on average, then you can base it on how does it compare to your average and also industry average. Is it a higher rate on one side? Is it lower on another? And if so, then you've learned something about how you structure your emails and you can improve as you go. One of the mistakes I want to highlight is if you go high end, really focus on that A/B testing. I didn't do as much of that and I didn't learn as much as I could have. And I think that's very critical for you to decide on what's the best way to reach your audience. Now, the neat part of these systems is they give you a breakdown of your audience by demographics, which is very helpful. You could segment out of those that are actually open it quite regularly to those that only maybe it open once or twice. And then you can tailor your campaigns to meet that. Having a premium platform like this is very helpful, but the mistake is by growing too quickly, you're going to get annualized cost on this. In order for you to recoup that cost, you might have to sell this many books. So just to have an e-newsletter as part of your marketing strategy, for you to even break even, it has to generate this level of sales. A lot of these subscribers, if they are committed and came on naturally, they will want to buy your book, so that's great. But if you grow too quickly and bring on people that are kind of iffy of whether they want to join you or joined you once and not certain, your newsletter list is not as powerful than you think. That 1,000+ names you have may only be 400 committed or even 200 committed, because that clickable link is telling you more of who's truly committed to purchasing your book. So if you have to break in with even with this number, but your committed is only this number, you're going to lose money on your newsletter using a premium system. So watch out for that. You're going to have to balance, do you want the premium version or do you want to go more old school? It means more work for you, but you could really cut down costs. There's many ways you can grow your e-newsletter quite quickly. And some is, just having great content where you get people coming on board and subscribing naturally. And the other way is using sites like Booksweeps and others. And there's a few. You don't have to use this one. But this one is one of the more popular ones. Let's dive into what it actually looks like behind the scene. Well, here, these are your reader magnets. These are the books you're willing to give out for free. You can view the landing page. It looks very professional. It's fairly easy to download, and you have functions of how much a person can download this book. All they have to do is do their first, last name, or email address, and you can tailor that. And that's one way they will get your book. Great way to protect your copyright because they have a book they can't actually distribute for sale. However, again, this is a cost. This is an annualized cost. You have to sign up for membership. Now they have a number of promotions. You can actually join any one of these promotions, and it seems very exciting because as long as you give away a reader magnet or a free book, you have the potential that they're going to collect hundreds of emails for you, those that want to download your book and willing to subscribe to your email. But again, each of these can have tens of authors join in. And a reader may click on multiple of these. And if they sign up for multiple of these, now you can see the less and less committed they are. And you need to decide, is it worth it? Are those people committed? And likely not. So you could be growing your list, and then you're going to pay that cost, and you're going to have to then sell this many books to do it. So you're starting to see now the balance of what you need to consider here. How fast you grow your list to what cost you're willing to cover. And then what expectation do you have for actual sales? When you create a reader magnet, which is that free story, don't give it away all at once. So for my subscribers, I offered them to download the book. And of course, only a certain percentage downloaded the book. And that's great, those that actually got the value from it. But it's only a portion of the e-newsletter that got the value. And also, too, because I hadn't read that short story yet, they wouldn't know necessarily if they want it. So what I would highly recommend is you actually serialize any reader magnet. So that's that free story or book, and give it out in chapters in successive emails. Because then it gives people a chance to actually see your writing, judge whether they want to have it or not, and maybe at the end of serializing it, you can give it away as a complete book. Because you want to have opportunity to re-engage with your subscribers. You don't want to spam them and reach out once or twice a week. You want to maybe once or twice a month reach out to them with an offering that they find value in. And if you're serializing a book, well, you can actually do more frequent emails, but it gives you another opportunity to connect with your subscribers and offer them great content and give them a chance to see your writing at any point, and then to own something that only they can get being on your subscriber list. So that's the other thing here too, is you want to make it worth it for your subscribers when they join your list. What value are they going to get from being there? That's different from all the other authors. Now, first off, it's your writing. That's important. They're going to get to access your writing. So ideally, you want those that are either very committed, or if they're relatively uncommitted, they get a lot of opportunity to see if you are the writer for them. So there's a lot of benefits of having e-newsletter, because the primary thing is you get direct connection to your readers, and most importantly, you get those emails. That way to connect and reach out to them. And then you can also track what they do through these software programs to figure out, do they like your content? What content do they prefer? How should you best reach to them? And you can respond and tailor the right content back to them. Now, the great thing of knowing who these people are, developing a personal connection, getting their direct contact info, is because when you sell your books on the print-on-demand websites like Amazon, Apple, and more, they never give you their emails. They do not break out that demographic info for you. So you don't learn anything when you sell a book on Amazon or Apple or more. They learn a lot about your readers, but you don't learn that at all. So as a self-published author, you're missing out on a whole world of information of how you can learn and reach an audience and reconnect with them at your choice. But when you leave it up to the Amazons and Apples or whatever, they're going to collect all that information, leave you out of the loop of who these people are and why they're buying their book or where they're coming from to buy your book. And you're almost blind. So that is why having an e-newsletter can be a very important part of your marketing strategy, because it empowers you to be a business. Now, I would caution for those self-published authors that maybe only do 1 or 2 books, e-marketing strategy may not be right for you, but those that want to be in the business and do this for many years, it's actually be very useful to your marketing strategy. So anyways, that's a lot of information I shared with you. I'm going to have more videos to help you down the line with e-newsletters and also your marketing strategies in general. Hopefully this helped so you can learn from my mistakes. And then if you like this video, click subscribe and then like, and we'll talk soon.